I'm pretending to ski. Why am I pretending to ski? Well, it's because I have a crazy shit experience to tell you about when I went skiing. I only went skiing one time in my life. One time. That was when I was 12 years old. I can tell you the story. It was the last day of winter vacation. It was January 4th, 1976. The next day school began. And my family decided to go skiing and to learn how to ski. And so nearby where we lived, they had a little ski resort. There were no mountains where we lived, just hills. Little baby hills and some bigger hills. And so we went to this place. It was called Mount Chalet. It was maybe a half hour away from our home. And we went there and we had lessons. It was my brother, sister, and I, along with my mom and dad and a couple of friends of our family. And we all had lessons together. So we learned how to stop, how to turn, how to fall down properly, how to get up, all the basics you need to know how to ski. And I felt like I mastered that. And skiing was fun. I enjoyed it. Everyone was enjoying it. We had a good time. They had a few different hills. One hill, it was a big hill where you can take like a ski lift where you can sit down in the chair and go up the hill. The smaller hill, which is what I was on, the baby hill, it just had a rope tow. So this rope that just circled around and you just held onto it and it pulled you up to the top. Pretty simple to do, actually. All you'd have to do is hold it and slide up the hill. I loved doing it. It was fun. Now, they told you when you slide up the hill, sometimes it stops because somebody falls or whatever. For whatever reason, it stops. And they said when it stops, make sure you let go. Because if it starts again, it's going to pull you, it's going to jerk you, and you're going to fall over. Don't want that to happen because then it has to stop again and you may hurt yourself. Well, anyway, my sister and I are going up the hill one time, and it stopped. And for some reason, I thought we should keep holding it. I don't know why I thought that, but for some reason, I thought so. And I remember turning around to look at my sister, and she was not holding it. And I yelled to her, "Renee, you're supposed to hold it." And she says, "No, Brad, you're supposed to let go of it." And I said, holding on to it, "No, Renee, you're supposed to hold it. Hold it." And right then, the rope started pulling. And I tumbled over and I twisted my knee and I heard a pop in my knee and I screamed. I didn't know I can scream so loud. And also I was 12 years old at this time. I thought I was beyond the age of crying. Oh, pain can't make me cry anymore. Nope, I was wrong. I was crying. I was in so much pain. I never felt such pain in my life. And while my sister's behind me. She's having a panic attack. It seems like whenever I had a bad fall growing up, she was always there to witness it. If you ever meet her, you should ask her about some of these stories. Those are many other stories. Well, anyway, the rescue team came, put me into some sort of sled, and they brought me down the hill. And my mom and dad were in the ski lodge having some coffee or cocoa or something. And they saw the rescue patrol come down with somebody, and they wondered, oh, who could that be? As the rescue patrol got really close, they realized it was me, especially as they saw my sister chasing the rescue team down the hill. And I was crying and all, and they're all asking me questions and checking on me. And I said I heard a pop in my knee, and they said, okay, maybe you broke your knee or something. They rushed me, and they got an ambulance, and they rushed me to the hospital. And they took x-rays. They said, "No, you just have a bad sprain." I said, okay. I did tell them about the pop. And they said it was a bad sprain. And so I thought, okay. The pain was pretty much gone. I mean, it hurt, but I was able to live with it. And I thought, okay, no school. Great. So I didn't have school. And we called up to school, and they said, okay. And they sent my homeroom teacher to come to my place and give me some books to read and to tutor me and counsel me a little. Help me with my classes. Well, that turned into 3 weeks, and my knee wasn't any better. They gave me a test at the hospital. They gave me like a special x-ray. They had injected some dye into my knee, some metallic dye, because the regular x-ray can't pick up cartilage. And so they injected this dye into my knee, and I screamed and screamed. This was worse than the actual accident. And there's this thick dye, and then they twisted my knee around, and I'm screaming as loud as my lungs will let me scream. And it's going on and on as they keep twisting my knee and taking these x-rays of my knee in these weird positions. And outside in the waiting room, my mom hears me screaming, and everyone's looking at my mom like, what's going on? What's happening to your son? And my poor mom, apparently she just had a horrible time having to listen to my scream and having to bear everyone's stares. But in the end, they discovered I had torn my cartilage. And I spent a week in the hospital. It took me, it was a very serious case, and normally it was supposed to heal. I mean, I was supposed to be able to get out of the hospital in 2 or 3 days, but it took 7 days. Had lots of gifts. I remember I started reading a lot. The Olympics were on TV. I remember watching the Olympics. My teacher coming over to visit, some friends coming over to visit. It ended up I missed 7 weeks of school. It was so much fun. 7 weeks of no school. And you're thinking, like, what's so crazy shit about this? Well, what's really crazy shit about it is when I finally got back to school, well, first of all, I was treated like a hero. Instead of having crutches, I had a cane. I had a really cool wooden cane. It kind of looked like it was hand carved, and I used to walk around with the cane. I was so dignified. And people would come to me like, I'd be their protector because I could swing the cane at people and to protect them. I would protect them from the bullies. I was the bully protector. But what the most crazy shit thing about it all was when I came back, we had final exams. I was #1 in the class. Probably the only time I was #1 in the whole class, because I had nothing to do all day. My teacher came over, gave me personal help. I just studied and I read. I did so much reading. I fell in love with books during this. I would say the biggest benefit of this accident was I fell in love with books. Fiction books, non-fiction books. I just soaked up books so much during this time, during these 7 weeks. And that's my experience. Do you have an experience, a clumsy experience like that? Let me know.